Invite the magic, believe in your dreams. You can do anything. Trust your heart, be who you wanna be. Hi, I'm Annie, and you're watching Invite the Magic. Invite the magic with Annie.
Hi, welcome back to Invite the Magic with Annie. Today's episode is about the Disney College Program. The reason is because I just got an email a few days ago telling me that applications are now open. And even though I did it like years ago, I still get the emails and it still excites me. And I want to tell more people about it because I think I keep on being surprised that not everybody knows about it. When I meet people, I tell them, oh, I did the Disney College Program, and they're like, what is that? So I feel like I should tell more people what it is. So if you're in college or if you're enrolled in a college, so even if you're in high school right now and you are taking an AP class, if your transcript has college credit on it, or if you graduated college within the last 6 months, you are lucky because you are eligible to apply for the Disney College Program. So what even is the Disney College Program? Well, they consider it an internship, and you essentially go and you get a role and you work in a wide array of possibilities in the park. In exchange, you get free park admission. It's the best. It's the best. But there's multiple reasons to do it besides getting free park admission. First of all, your resume for the rest of your life is going to say Walt Disney World. It's kind of a big deal. And you learn so much no matter what your role is because, like, good or bad, it's hard to work for a big corporate company, but obviously Disney knows what they're doing. And so you're going to get really good training. Like, the training is so good. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is possible roles. Like, what can you even do when you work there? So when I worked there, I was a seater. That was what it's called, but it was a hostess. I don't know why they don't just call it a hostess. So I'm going to give you some overview of what you can do. You can do custodial, housekeeping, quick service food and beverage, lifeguard, merchandise, character attendant, character performer, recreation activities, attractions, bell services, Bippity Boppity Boutique or the Pirates League, a bus greeter, convention guide, children's activities, costuming, floral, hopper, monorail, photo pass, cedar, vacation planner, watercraft, attractions. So a little bit of like the more common ones obviously are attractions, which are the rides. If you get assigned attractions, you could be working Pirates of the Caribbean, you could be working It's a Small World, you could be riding Kilimanjaro safaris in Animal Kingdom, you could be doing, soaring over the world in Epcot, you could be doing, you could be doing Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios. So all of those are so different, right? I had a roommate who worked on Soaring Over the World, and I had a roommate who worked on Jungle Cruise. So they worked on like some of the best rides. It was awesome. And it was amazing. I was a seater. I worked on the Boardwalk Resort. Something I didn't know before I did the program is that you can work on the resorts, not just in the parks. So at first I kind of was like, oh, I don't like that. I only want to be in the park. But actually, the resorts are amazing. The resorts are some of the best things that the park has. And then you don't feel like attached to one park, or you don't get like bored of one park because you're working at a resort. So I worked at like a fine dining restaurant on the Boardwalk Resort. Look it up. It's the best. It was called Flying Fish. So I would work, and they were only open for dinner. So I had my mornings always free. So I would like wake up and I'd be like, all right, let's go to Animal Kingdom, ride a few rides, go home, change, go to work. Like, it was pretty ideal. Or I would wake up and I would be like, let's see, who haven't I met yet? Okay, let's go meet Stitch, and then I'm gonna go ride this ride, and then like it was just an adventure every day. I'm like crying thinking about it. So I had a roommate who did custodial, and I'm just like, I love this so much. It is the best. So this is a fun, like a pro secret tip. Every single person who does custodial, that might sound like the worst job, My roommate loved it. Everyone I ever met who was assigned custodial loved it. Want to know why? Because you have some of the most freedom out of any of the other roles. So if you're working on an attraction, that might sound more fun, but you're kind of in one spot for most of the day. And if you are custodial, like let's say you're cleaning up Main Street, and you're just on Main Street watching the parades while you're sweeping up. You know what I'm saying? So don't just like write off custodial right at the first. I had a roommate who was watercraft. So what she would do is she would drive the boats like from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. And oh wait, I have to finish recording my podcast because I got a call that was interrupted. So I'm just gonna see really quick where this ended because I need to put my phone in airplane mode. And why? Because you have some of the most freedom out of any of. There we go. Okay. So yes, you have some of the most freedom if you're custodial. My other roommate was watercraft, so she would drive the boats from Epcot to Hollywood Studios and to the resorts in between. My other roommate was costuming, so she was costuming on Main Street, so she would help the performers get ready for their parade every day when they would walk on Main Street and do the Move It, Shake It parade, and so she would help them. So she always had all these stories, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, like, today, Goofy, I don't know, she just had all these stories of the costuming backstage. And then my other roommate was merchandise on Main Street, and she was busy. She didn't get home till like 3 a.m. sometimes. That was just during like Christmas. But she always brought us home the caramel apples. So I never bought caramel apples because I got to try all of them. Because she worked in like the confectionery. And then at another point, she worked at a place where they like stitched the names on the hats. Let's see. And then yes, my other roommate worked on Jungle Cruise. So I got Jungle Cruise, custodial, merchandise, me. Yeah, watercraft. Okay, so that's a little bit about some of the roles. And so what we did, I lived with 6 girls. There were 6 girls total in my apartment. You can choose your apartment situation when you are applying. Like you can have 2 roommates, you can have 2, 3, 4, or 6. We did 6 because it was cheapest. And honestly, I thought it was going to be like a struggle. It wasn't. It was, honestly, we all have different schedules. So barely all 6 of us are home at the same time. Barely 3 of us are ever home at the same time. There's plenty of space. Like there was 2 rooms, a bunk bed and a twin, which sounds horrible too, but it wasn't. Like you're just so tired and like it just isn't a problem. And when we were home together, we had fun. So I recommend it. I think it's like 10 out of 10 a thing to do. There's 4 different apartment complexes they'll house you in. So you get housed in your apartment complex and the security is tight. Like don't even think about having a friend sleep over with you because it's not like it literally can't happen. Like if someone just wants to come visit you through the gates, it's like almost not even worth it because the security is like tight. Like it is tight. So you will be safe. So tell your parents you're going to be safe. And they're so nice. Like every time you walk in, so you have your ID, you have to show the security guard your ID. Be like, hi, I live here. And they're so nice. They're actually probably some of the nicest people I met, the security guards there. Okay, so some about the application process now. So you apply and it will tell you, hey everyone, popping in, drop me a comment if you have any specific questions that I will answer for you. If you have a kid or if you want to join, ask me a question or feel free to message me separately. I will totally get back to you. So when you apply, you actually have a selection of choosing if you're interested in Disneyland and Disney World or just one or just the other. Obviously, Disney World is infinitely bigger. So if you're not anti-Florida or anti-Disney World, you might as well be open to both. Disneyland is just smaller, so you're just going to increase your chances of going to get into the program. You get to click on each role what you have your level of interest is in. So so it will say custodial, you say no interest, low interest, moderate interest, high interest. Character attendant, no interest, low interest. And so you can say no interest on all of them but one, but at the same time you want to like keep your chances open. So also I do want to tell you that when I first applied, my first mindset was I'm only going to do it if I'm a performer. I'm only going to do it if I get to like dress up or do something, because it's like I was like, it's not worth my time, it's not worth it. I'm not going to go there and be something else. So on my application, I put character performer and then seater and then maybe something else. I probably put like 3 or 4 options. Then the auditions came to Salt Lake and I auditioned, and then I like made it past the first cut. They're like, okay, well, you stayed. Then I did the next dance thing, and they're like, okay, cool, we're gonna like finish our audition tour, like thousands and thousands of people. So then anyway, like a month or 2 later, I like got emailed that I didn't get selected for character performer, but I got accepted to the program through the other program part as a seater. And then the more I thought about it, basically I was like, so you could go to Disney World for free or not. And I was like, let's just try it, because that's just how I live my life. Like, let's just do it. So after you apply for the program, it asks you what school you're enrolled in, what year you are in school, and then you will be asked to take this online interview or like a test. Now, this assessment or this test is pretty, like, it's like 10 to 15 minutes of your time. And don't just like, it's not hard, but don't like, just like not take your time with it. It's one of those tests that asks you like, if this situation were to happen, would you A, talk to your manager, B, yell at the guest, C, like that type of stuff. Obviously, they're not all that black and white. So it's kind of hard, because sometimes I remember when I was taking it, I was like, well, do they want me to say like I would be responsible, or do they want me to talk to the manager? So when you're taking the online assessment, first of all, call me. I will literally come to your house and do it with you, because I figured out what they want. I'm not saying to lie, but also like if you're always late and there's a question that says you're like, how important is being on time to me? And you say, oh, I'm late everywhere I go. Maybe just don't put that. Like, that's all I'm saying. So I would just have some common sense when it comes to the application, but don't be a robot either, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's on time to everything. So kind of have a good balance in there, if that makes sense with the application process. If you pass the application process, here's what sucks. Like, if you don't pass that, you're done. Like, you're not considered anymore. You're like not even in the circle of consideration. If you pass that, then you will be scheduled with a phone interview. Now, on the phone interview, I got tons of tips before I did my program. And the tips I heard were to smile, like be really happy, be really enthusiastic, which is true. Like, you're going to work at Disney, so they don't want to talk to someone who's boring. I think that the way that you talk says a lot more about you than any of your answers anyway. Some of the things they're going to ask you is, first of all, why do you want to do the Disney College program? They're probably going to ask you whatever roles you selected, why you want those, why you would be good at them. And then be prepared for some possible scenarios. So if you say that you want to work on attractions, if that's your first choice, then be prepared on the interview for them to ask you a scenario like, okay, pretend that you're working on It's a Small World, and then a little 3-year-old comes up and said she lost her blanket on the ride. What would you do? So make up scenarios like that depending on what you want. If you want to work in the ticket office, be prepared for, there's going to be all sorts of problems with there. So be prepared to answer how you treat customers. Now I'm going to tell you something. Safety is their first priority. So whatever happens, you got to do whatever is safe first. For example, like if there's something dangerous on the premises, but there's an unhappy guest, you should take care of the safety aspect first and then take care of the guest. Their second most important thing is courtesy. So safety above all else, and then courtesy, then taking care of the guests. And then show. So then making sure that everything looks clean, that you look in character, that you have the Disney look, which by the way includes no more than these piercings, no unnatural hair color, or like kind of like mohawks, like no hair can be like that. It's almost like the BYU honor code, honestly. It's if you just basically just like no tattoos can be showing, unless they change that. Maybe they have like minimal ones, but they're pretty strict on the Disney look. And then when you're in your Disney costume, you will be, it just has to be clean, and your name tag has to always be on at all times, and smiling. Like, you don't want to be caught staring off, looking miserable. So, and that there's a lot that comes to it. So on the phone interview, act confident, be yourself, smile, when you're on the phone, like it might be helpful to like do like a dance or get pumped up about Disney before you have your phone interview. Make sure when you schedule your interview that you can for sure be there and that you're not going to have to cancel. Just set yourself up for success. Set yourself up for the ultimate success to have it. Now the Disney College Program, the applications are now open. I'm going to put a link in the comments for you, Disney College Program, so that you can apply. I'm being really serious when I say that you can send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook if you have a question about how the Disney College Program kind of goes. So that's a little bit, just like a quick overview. Wanted to keep this episode kind of short. Please let me know if you have any more questions, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot more. Have a great day.